Local and live. Covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Well, good morning. This is Dan DeDona here with the localnews1.org weekly report for Hagerstown, Chambersburg, Smithsburg, Fairfield, Waynesboro, and all the communities that make up our local area. We're going to start off, as we usually do on these Fridays, with 5 things to do this weekend. Father's Day weekend, and also Juneteenth today, a recently added federal holiday. It's actually pretty cool. At any rate, we're going to start off with downtown Waynesboro will be closed on Saturday. Actually, that's going to be for a good cause. From 7 a.m. until 3 p.m., the Father's Day Car and Truck Show, with the main car and truck show taking place from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. They're expecting hundreds of classic cars and trucks of all makes and models. Thousands of people are also expected, and that's basically been their experience over the years. This car show in downtown Waynesboro has really become a really big thing. On-site registration begins at 9 a.m. and costs $15. The best show car, best show truck, as well as the Mayor's Choice, People's Choice, and Kids' Choice. Plus, the top 25 vote getters will all be awarded trophies. Trophy presentation is expected a little bit after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. The event is coordinated by Main Street Waynesboro and the Appalachian Golden Classics Car Club. Proceeds benefit Main Street and other local charity causes. Second up, I'm sure you all have been paying attention to U.S. soccer in the World Cup. They had a pretty good win a week ago. Well, they got another game today, actually, starting at 3 o'clock against Australia. And in order to take advantage of that, the Hagerstown Fieldhouse is hosting a free World Cup watch party of the match with Australia. That'll be at 290 East Memorial Boulevard in Hagerstown. The event itself begins at 3 p.m. Friday this afternoon, with doors opening at 2 p.m. Organizers are inviting the community to gather and cheer on Team USA, enjoying select beer discounts and a family-friendly setting. Attendees are encouraged to bring chairs or blankets, and children younger than 13 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. There's more information on the entire event on the Hagerstown Fieldhouse Facebook page. Third up today is Jim's Farmers Market is going to be marking 46 years in business with Jim's Birthday Bash. Community celebration from 3 until 8 p.m. on today, also from Friday, June 19th. That will be taking place at the market at 225 Grant Street in Chambersburg. The event will feature food trucks, a margarita bar hosted by Montezuma's, a beer tent by Gear House Brewing, live music by Omega Coffee Bar, a lot of family-friendly attractions, including bounce houses, a petting zoo, face painting. It just goes on. So it should be a really nice event. The Broken Sprocket Catering Company is also going to have a sea boil available. So take advantage of that. Fourth on the list today, the Ritchie History Museum out there at Fort Ritchie is inviting the community to take part in a unique 100th anniversary celebration and time capsule burial for the museum. There are a century of stories about to be sealed for the next generation. That'll take place at 4 p.m. Tomorrow, Saturday, June 20th, at 14319 Barrack Avenue in Cascade, Maryland. Attendees can contribute personal items to a multi-capsule time capsule that will be reopened in 50 years at Fort Ritchie's 150th anniversary. This is organized as both a commemorative event and a fundraiser. Proceeds will support the museum's upcoming research center while giving participants a chance to preserve pieces of modern life. And the fifth item of our 5 things to do this weekend is a high-flying way to celebrate Dad out at Hagerstown Airport. The Hagerstown Aviation Museum is hosting a Father's Day event Sunday, June 21st from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. at 18450 Showalter Road at Building 8 in Hagerstown. The museum is inviting families to explore a collection of Fairchild aircraft. Plus, they're going to have a visiting B-17 and a visiting B-25 Mitchell available there. They've actually flown in. It's a special treat for people over the weekend. And you can get rides in the B-17, as well as in many of the Fairchild historic aircraft. So admission fees apply. You can check out the Hagerstown Aviation Museum for more details. Those are the top 5 things. We got 2 other things that cropped up. Number 1 of those is Shippensburg Township Park is hosting their inaugural Shippensburg Pirate Festival. Get it? Shippensburg Pirate. Okay. It's going to be setting sail on Saturday, June 20th from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. at 304 Britton Road. It's going to feature a full day of entertainment, including live shows, music, games, and a variety of food and merchandise vendors. Organizers say the event offers a family-friendly atmosphere while introducing a unique themed experience to the area. Admission is $10 per person, with on-site parking and restroom facilities available for attendees. And finally, for Juneteenth, which is actually today, the 19th of June, it's going to be celebrated a couple of ways. First of all, for those of you who may not know what Juneteenth is, it commemorates the announcement on the 19th of June, 1865 in Galveston, Texas, that the slaves were free per the Emancipation Proclamation. What's interesting about that is the Emancipation actually occurred 2 years earlier. So sign of the times back there in 1865 that it took 2 years for that word to catch up with people in Texas. Nonetheless, there was a big celebration in Galveston, and it has since been recognized as a national holiday. In Chambersburg, they're going to be celebrating the event on the 19th of June from 4 until 8, and on the 20th of June from 10 until 4. There's a long list of events that are going to be associated with that throughout the Chambersburg area. And also, Washington County and many, many other organizations are going to have their offices closed all day today on the 19th. So, as you might suspect, as we keep getting closer to the 250th anniversary, we're going to be talking more and more about history in a variety of forms as we get closer and closer. Probably the first of those in Greencastle, where we actually made some history this past week. The Greencastle Blue Devils ball team won the state Class 5A championship in 14 innings last Friday. Apparently it was a real thriller. The Dubois team, that they were pretty tough. They had managed to tie everything up 4-4 at the bottom of the ninth, so they just continued playing. Dubois actually put a run on the board in the top of the 14th, but the Blue Devils answered that, put 2 runs on, and took the championship. So congratulations. That's the first time that they have ever won something like that. In related news, Representative Mike Armanisi had a bet that we talked about last week with Representative Chad Reichard from Franklin County as to who would win. Well, Mike Armanisi paid off with a box of Scott's Donuts this past week after the game. And Chad Reichard also announced that he had made plans to make a contribution to Dubois, regardless of the outcome, just because they're a good team. So good on both of you guys on that. Waynesboro locals Andy Smetzer, Greg Small, and Larry Selman led an effort to create Borough 250 posters that are now hung all the way up and down Main Street in Waynesboro. They commemorate a variety of things from U.S. history and from local history as well. There's about 100 of these flags that have been put up on light posts up and down the street. It's pretty interesting. It covers a lot of territory. And you'll also notice, if you have a moment, if you can walk by and take a look right at the very bottom, there are an awful lot of local businesses. I know the Rotary Club of Waynesboro and many, many others who contributed money to see to it that those those banners could be made and could ultimately be hung. So excellent work. There is also a continuing series of local heroes stories from throughout the immediate region. Part 4 this week is highlighting William Wilson of Hagerstown, among others. Last week, Samuel Ringgold was the key fella that was recognized. Interesting guy, very, very smart, went to West Point, graduated with top honors. So that's it for that. In Washington County, the Business and Economic Development team is sharing that the Department of Agriculture, it's the U.S. Department of Agriculture, approved a federal disaster relief program for the freeze that took place in the local area on the 21st of April. Details are available on Local News 1. Many of you farmers, you may not, if you had crops that were damaged and you were not aware that this was going on, please take note and contact the Washington County Business and Economic Development Department. In Pennsylvania, this was kind of an interesting one. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that skill games, which have previously apparently not been subject to gambling laws, have been determined to be subject to the state's gambling laws. There's about 10,000 businesses out there with 70,000 skill games that are all going to be impacted by this. The Supreme Court established a 120-day stay on implementation so that they can figure out exactly what it is they need to do with that kind of volume of activity that they'll have to create enforcement for. Kind of a follow-up to that, we noticed that it still remains for the state legislature to, if they want to, they could probably intervene in this, and they could probably put in a carve-out that says games of skill don't have to come under this law. But the state Supreme Court has interpreted the law as it sits as being applicable. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 120 days. If you're a business person out there that is likely impacted by this, you might want to contact your state representative and senator and let them know what your thoughts are. Hagerstown is looking at tenant protections. Apparently there was recently a utility shutoff. Now the way it was described, it wasn't completely clear exactly how this worked, but there was a story in there about how many tenants go ahead and they pay for their utilities as part of their monthly payments. Apparently the problem in this particular case that came to the attention of the Hagerstown Council was that, well, the tenants paid, but apparently the landlord did not. So the company came out and disconnected their utilities. Not a good thing. Now, so the city is concerned about this. They're talking about trying to create a Bill of Rights for tenants. We also note in the story that this is largely a state issue. It's not the sort of thing that counties or cities in the state of Maryland usually get involved in. But the council is going to ask their staff to take a look at options anyway, just to see if there's anything that they can do to try to keep this sort of thing from happening in the future. In Washington County, we talked about a week ago about whether or not they might seek a federal funding grant for 24 additional firemen. Well, this past week, they finally did just that. They decided that they would pursue that grant. The grant would come from FEMA, and they're going to have to get on their horse because they've got until the 22nd of June to file. So I hope they got the staff all warmed up and ready to go for that. What's interesting about the article is there's a lot of time that was spent talking up the value of having 24 additional full-time firefighters in Washington County. There's not very much about the cost. And thought occurs, this is, well, if this is a grant, that's usually a one-time thing, not a long-term commitment to pay 24 people's salaries. So we'll see how they work this out, but sooner or later they're going to have to figure out how they're going to deal with 24 people's salaries. Washington County also approved pursuit of a grant of $1.3 million for Fort Ritchie's sewage infrastructure project, which we also talked about briefly a week ago. PennDOT is looking for public comment on a 2027 State Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP program. People have until the 5th of 5 p.m. on the 30th of June to get their comments in. You can make your comments online. The reason why you would want to take a look at that is, well, depending upon your point of view, roads mean a lot to development. So if you were one of those that wants the area in your immediate vicinity to remain relatively pristine, then you're probably not all that excited about having more roads allowing more people to travel through your area. On the other hand, if you are very interested in business development, you should be very, very interested in seeing how the state has laid out their plans for enhancing transportation in your immediate area. 30th of June, if you've got comments, get them into PennDOT. Washington County, their Parks Department announced that Snook Park tennis courts have been reopened after resurfacing this early spring and summer. There are some other parks that are also due for some work, including the Chestnut Grove facility, the regional facility, and Pleasant Valley. So look for more work in those areas. Franklin County is consolidating the Franklin County Area Agency on Aging with the Chambersburg Senior Activity Center, which is located at 2593 Philadelphia Avenue. The reasoning for this is that by consolidating these two organizations under the same roof, they can save money and probably provide better services, because these two agencies can communicate more easily with each other, all being located under the same roof. So we'll see how that turns out, but frequently those kind of things really do work out well. In Chambersburg, the New Day Strength and Performance Company had a grand opening on the 14th of June on East King Street. They offer a wide range of fitness activities for the local area. Also in Chambersburg, there is a Dollar General that is being planned in the former Rite Aid facility at 415 East Clinton Street in Chambersburg. That's 8,500 feet of store. They're going to be employing 6 to 10 people. They expect to have the facility opened up within a month. So for those of you who are looking for a job in the retail business, Dollar General is hiring. You should get in touch with them. Look at the story to see how that's happening. Antrim Township had a fatal vehicle crash. This is under police news. Had a fatal vehicle crash which closed a portion of Route 16 between Hill and Grant Shook roads west of Greencastle. That was about a week ago. Many details were unavailable. The PA State Police. Now, we talked about this one before. PA State Police are citing hundreds of people for distracted driving. Remember, we talked about you're not allowed to have a phone or an iPad or anything of that sort in your hand while driving. If they're mounted, or if it's a hands-free kind of an operation, that's okay. But even parked with a phone in your hand, they're issuing citations. Pennsylvania State Police are also investigating the theft of 11 catalytic converters in Guilford Township on the 1st of June. That would be out at the Rabbit Transit facility. This is a pretty big deal because at $2,000 a pop, that's $22,000 worth of catalytic converters, which, as many of you know, has got a lot of precious metals in them that can be, I assume you can extract those things and take advantage of that. Let's see. In People News, one more police news. Penn State Police, they were very busy this past week, apparently. They have charged Ryan Hoover, a former employee of the county, for using confidential information in his personal applications. bad news for that. Anyway, they don't have whole lot more details on that, but we'll follow up just as soon as something becomes available. Under People News, Meritus is welcoming the class of 2030 to their osteopathic program. There's about 145 potential doctors that are going to be first-year students, and in order to commemorate that, they are going to be presented with white jackets on the 24th of July. In entertainment news, I had to throw this one in there. The Montalto Firemen's Carnival is continuing this week. Actually, they're going to be going right through the weekend. Just a note that tonight is when there's a big fireworks show that's scheduled. If it rains, the backup date will be tomorrow, Saturday, the 20th. We also have local history, regular local history that we cover every single Tuesday, the writings of a Dargan boy. On Thursdays, we have tons of sports, auto racing, gymnastics. We have crossword puzzles, theatrical activities, if you are inclined to go out and see some live shows. We are very proud to be the news source for Verstandig Media. You can see all the local news at localnews1.org. We're online, but we are not social media. We are very definitely a news organization. We do all local. We don't do any national news. We're focused just on what's happening in your immediate vicinity. And with that, we'll move on to the thought of the day. From the world of mathematics, to the person who invented zero. Thanks for nothing. Bada bing. Have a great week.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.